I'm going to show you a routine that I do nearly every day with myofascial release balls, or you can use tennis balls if you have those at home. I recommend 2. I'm going to mostly be focusing on my back because that is the area where I feel like I need it most, especially to prepare for what I am doing on a daily basis with my work. So if you want to grab a couple tennis balls, if you have a yoga block, that's an option, or let's see, even a pillow or something that I'm going to prop my hips up on this at the very beginning, and then I'm going to prop my head up on it throughout the rolling process. So a couple tennis balls, if you have them, or even if you have these, sometimes they're known as trigger point balls, and something to use for your, even a pillow would probably work, a good thick big pillow. So okay, so we're going to start, and I'm just going to start on my lower neck, upper back, and then roll my way down my back. So I'm going to start on my back. This is just going to be within reach, actually, down there for now. So come down to your back. I'm going to place the myofascial balls right next to each other, and then just find a spot right kind of at the very base of my cervical spine on either side. So I'm not going to place it on any bone, the balls on any bone. I'm going to place them just on either side of the very top part of my spine, so lower part of my neck. And then I'm going to lift my hips to put pressure then toward my neck. And you can decide if you want to lift, you might not even need to. If there's enough pressure with your simply just resting the top of your, it's really the trapezius, the traps, so the just above the shoulder blade, the top part of the shoulder blade. And then I have a good spot here. Sometimes that spot can be quite sensitive. I'm going to reach for my block and then rest my hips or my sacrum right on the block, so I don't have to work to lift my hips. And then you can either just stay still and allow gravity to be the release for your fascia, or you can even add some movement. Sometimes I like to extend my arms overhead and move them forward and back to kind of mimic a massage. That just adds a little bit of movement and pressure in different areas of that particular muscle group. And then you can find a spot if you want to. You can rock side to side a little bit or a lot, depending on how the pressure feels. And if this causes any pain, then I'd say don't do it. It should feel good. I'm going to take one more breath and let my exhale just relax those muscles over top of the pressure point balls or the trigger point balls, the myofascial. And then gently lift the hips. If they were raised, I'm going to bring them back down. And then I'm simply going to lift my hips just enough. I'm going to move and roll on those balls just down to kind of, I think I probably only moved like a centimeter or so down. And again, that might be right around where your shoulder blades kind of come together at the top. So find the next spot where you think might be good to spend some time there. And at this point, you might be good with keeping your neck lifted, and if that's the case, just bring, or if you prefer having your hips lifted, you can kind of test out that pressure. I'm ready for my neck to stay lifted, so I'm going to bring that block just right under my head. And then this is right near the rhomboids, just right below and inside the shoulder blades, not fully, not low, not too low yet, so they're still not, the balls aren't situated to the very bottoms of the shoulder blades and just inside, but kind of in the middle where the rhomboids are. So I'm going to circle my arms for some movement. You can feel the rhomboid muscles activate, a little bit of a massage. And again, rocking side to side. And with any area as we go kind of along the sides of the spine, down, any area that you feel you want to spend more time on, you know, by all means pause the video and stay there, breathe, stay in stillness or move, whatever feels good. And again, I'm going to shift, pick up my hips a little bit, walk my feet a little bit lower. My ball sometimes will move, and so you might need to adjust at any given time. And remember, you don't want to be on the actual vertebrae of the spine, but just on either side. I'm going to roll a few centimeters down to about the next spot that feels good to me. Make sure I'm still on the screen. And it's just mostly experimental, finding out what movement feels good, alternating pressure into either side at any given time. So right now I'm just rocking my knees back and forth, even just slightly. I don't know if you can see where I have the balls placed right now. Kind of on the upper quadratus lumborum, the QL. And then again, I'm going to roll. In fact, I'm going to carry them with me, shift a little bit so I don't go off the screen. Come back down. This is a good spot for me. As you can see, sometimes I lift my feet up off, put that much more pressure into the myofascial release balls. I may sometime in the future take some time to educate a little bit more on the fascia, but especially for those of you who already know a little bit about it, this might be a good practice for you. I'm just going to continue rolling up so the balls move down. Just finding spots along the way. About here is where I start to, again, I don't know if you can really see where they are. Right there. And I'm going to put a lot more pressure in by lifting up completely and allowing my almost lower back to rest full weight on these massage balls. That's another term I've heard them called, massage balls. And again, you can add movement, or maybe the stillness is enough pressure to kind of release and hydrate the fascia. That, here's some education for you. The fascia is basically the webbing or the tissue that kind of encases the muscles. And the fascia is truly subject to inflammation. And so by putting pressure and movement and kind of massaging out the fascia, you can hydrate, loosen, lubricate the fascia in order to then increase range of motion of the muscle. And roll, continue to roll a little bit more. And now I'm kind of drawing circles with my knees, and then I'll switch directions. Just alternately putting pressure on each side. And then I think I have about one more location, rolling up a little bit more. So now my massagers are right above the sacrum. So again, I'm not landing on bone or massaging bone. Just kind of swishing the hips side to side here, moving around a little bit. And then coming on up, I love to use these for my glutes as well. So I'll just use one for that. Kind of get it up into that major fleshy part. I'm an angel here. Yeah, let's get my face out of the sun. Actually, yeah, okay. And for the leg that I have the ball on that left glute right now, I'm going to cross that left ankle above my right knee. And a lot of my weight's on my hands as well. Just going to kind of roll around on that fleshy. It's mostly the meaty part. Again, you don't want to roll onto the sit bone. You might find out that if you do, it doesn't feel that great. And then if you want to find a couple sensitive spots, you can stay there. You can maybe rock side to side again. And then I'm just going to switch. Sometimes I will do that hip. And a kind of in a few different spots on the hip for today. I'm just going to do a little bit of time on the glute max. So I switch to the right bun, crossing the right ankle over the left knee, rolling around and then finding a spot and then kind of rocking side to side. And really these balls and foam rollers that you might be more familiar with even work for any area of the body. So just experiment, putting pressure into any muscle areas that are sensitive or not for that matter. It's even doing you a benefit to roll out the fascia whether or not it's sensitive. Okay. And then sometimes I also, because of the work I do with cleaning houses, constant motion, vacuuming and mopping and all sorts, I'll a lot of times put pressure down on my upper pec muscle and then back behind on the shoulder area. Today I'm not going to do that, but someday I will. So I'll show you those as well. This is also good for runners, good for quads. You can turn over and quads. You can do shins. You can do the calf muscles, which often I do with a set that I have of attached myofascial balls. But you can do it on your calf muscles, as you see here. I'm not going to spend time doing that, but I also always do my feet which also not going to spend time on this particular one doing my feet, but standing, putting pressure into the ball all around the bottom of the foot. I have different sizes that I use. A racquetball is really nice for your feet as well. So if you have a racquetball, you can use that as well. So hope you enjoyed. I already feel loose. So now I'm going to add some movement, just some yoga moves. Basically, well here, why don't I do with you now cat and cow, because then that just really helps to move the spine after having released the fascia there. So spreading wide the fingers here, externally rotating the arms so the elbows, the eyes of the elbows are energetically facing forward or away from the front of the body. And then inhaling as you drop the belly, lift the chin and tailbone, the chest and the tailbone. And then exhale, I like to curl my toes as I round the spine into cat. Inhaling to cow. And exhale the cat. And then inhale right back to that tabletop. So mostly I'm just focusing on the spine right now, getting it ready for work. And so I'll just do some side bends as well. Sorry about the face being all shiny and stuff. Inhaling, arms come up. Lengthen through the spine and exhale, arms out and down. One more time, inhaling, arms come up. Reaching up and out of the hips, and then exhale, arms come down. I'm going to plant my left fingertips next to my left hip, inhaling the right arm up. Exhale, we're going to side bend, lateral flexion here. Couple breaths. Inhaling as you come up. And exhale, release that right arm, right fingertips down. Inhaling, left arm up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Breathe here. Inhaling as you come up. And exhale. Good. One more spinal movement. And this is just to get all those muscles that where the fascia was released with our rolling. And now just to add some movement to those muscles. Just, again, preparing them and getting them ready for work that I'll be doing with my back a lot. Excuse me. Just a gentle twist. So inhale, lift through the spine. We're going to put that right hand, actually first put that right hand, fingertips or whatever behind that right hip. We're going to inhale, lift through the spine. And then exhale, just twist over to your right. Find a good spot, keeping a good lift through the spine. I'm going to bring the chin back toward that front shoulder and then tuck the chin down toward the chest. Again, staying lifted through the spine. That helps to protect the discs, the discs between the vertebrae, especially in a twist. One more inhale. And then exhale, relax toward the center. Left fingertips behind the left hip. Inhale, sit up through the spine. And then exhale, twist over to your left. Staying lifted through the spine. And bring the chin back toward the front shoulder and tuck down toward the chest. One more inhale. And then exhale, relax toward the center. So that's just a very quick myofascial release, mostly for the back, the muscles that are all along the spine. A couple yoga poses or movements to just help release and prepare the spine for work or just to feel good. Enjoy. Namaste.